Hi, welcome to We Like the Idea, a podcast where a bunch of friends sit at a table and talk until we don't anymore. We started a campaign last week for a little game called Wander Home, a game of animal people and beautiful vistas and no mean people whatsoever. Everyone here's they're just so nice. And we love that. Last week was a little bit of a session 0 where we made our characters and talked about their relationships together. And in this session, we're going to actually find out if this game's worth a damn or not. We're going to play the dang thing. And so I think first and foremost, we'll go around the table and introduce ourselves and what the name of our character is. Go now. Do it. One of you. Hurry.
My name is Nicholas Acosta. I am typically the GM here. And I am playing Brand, a snake who is a veteran. And I think that's all for now. We've already been over enough in session 0.
The next one. Hurry. We have dead air.
Hi, I'm Bree, and I play Cammy.
And now the other girl.
I'm Noodle.
She's Noodle. And Noodle is a boy. And I'm Dan. And I play the Firelight named Devold, and my little firefly pet is named Jacob. He's a very sweet boy, and we are coming upon the town of Bourbon, which is a town nestled in this nice kind of swampland. I think the way that I would describe it in terms of a wholesome heathland is like it's a swamp if you like turned the exposure up on a swamp and made the saturation a little higher, and it's like sunset all the time and it looks really gorgeous and the sun is reflecting off the kind of boggy water here, and it kind of bubbles slightly and kind of it's like a little bit of a babbling creek, and I think where we've descended from a bit of a mountain range to this kind of low point where this swampland rests. And we're pulling into town, and I think as we get closer to town, we already hear the sounds of the festival already in full force. I sort of wonder if from far off we can see the like top of a Ferris wheel or some analog giant ride that a bunch of little kids are going ham on. As we stride into town, we will ask ourselves the questions that we ask every time we play this game. The first of which is, where have we just come from? What's the name of your family's inn, Brienne?
I think the Cozy Corner.
Ooh, I like that.
The Cozy Corner.
Mm-hmm.
So we have come from Cammy's hometown, where her parents' inn resides. Cammy, this might actually be a good time to explain just a little bit about what your character is and does, and how that relates to your parents' inn.
Sure. So she is a peddler. She peddles it's the little things in life that mean the most, right? So tea and honey, books and blankets, very cozy things, maybe a sweater or two. It's the little things that mean the most.
Fantastic.
It's very nice.
So yeah, we're on our way from there. The second question follows up the first, which is, do we feel that our journey has been long? How far do we figure the small swamp town of Bourbon is from Brienne's town, patent pending?
I love to imagine that it's been a while, because we've talked about generally what the goal is here, and I think it makes sense that these two things would be far from each other.
Yeah, I agree. I think we had talked about in session 0 a little bit that this is sort of Cammy's first real excursion out into the world.
Wherever we are, this is absolutely the farthest from home she's been.
Right. And so I like to imagine, honestly, that it's a decent ways away. Maybe Brienne's hometown, Cammy's hometown, is sort of nestled amongst the mountains that we've just descended from.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was definitely like a bit of a trek, but we, aren't like half a continent away or anything, right? Like this has probably been like a week's travel, maybe.
Okay.
Definitely further away. I think maybe the first time she's been out of the mountain range, which we'll also have a cool snappy name for at some point. And then as we stroll into Bourbon, is there anywhere that we'd like to go following this? What are our plans after rolling through the town of Bourbon, which we are, passing through sort of incidentally, but also because we had heard that there was today is the 5-year anniversary festival of the armistice that ended the long ongoing rebellion against the mean, bad people who are yet to have a cool, pithy name. And so we decided to stop by, but do we have an idea of where we want to go after this?
Oh, afterwards? In Bourbon or like out after Bourbon?
No, the whole wide world, man.
Oh, okay.
In Bourbon works too, though. As we're pulling up, we have the thought, is there anywhere we'd like to go?
What is my character's goal here? I think I do have a goal. I think I'm trying, because we talked about what's on my back. I think I'm certainly trying to visit other religious places in between each town, the places that are religious to nature, and doing small acts there to like gain repentance for killing the god.
Yeah, talk a little bit about what's on your back, Nick.
It is the antler of a god, essentially, and it is I believe we gave it the imagery of like an elk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me its horn in its last breath because the person I looked up to struck it down, and in an act of defiance, I tried to save it. I did not. It went really badly.
Yeah, a great touchstone for what this antler looks like is the what is it? Ancestral spirit?
The ancestral spirit, yeah.
From Elden Ring. That kind of giant, mini, pokey-ended, glowing sort of antler.
Yes.
Very cool.
I also really want to touch on that it's extremely porous because it is considered the veteran's sword, but it is not a sword. It works differently. And the main thing that I like is that when I'm traveling, and the way it's positioned on my back, because I don't know if I said it before, I'm a snake. I'm not a bipedal snake. I'm just a snake. When I slither around, the air pushes through it and makes like very melodic tunes. Sometimes it sounds like little bird calls. Sometimes it's just a very nice sound of leaves rustling. It's all nature noises, though. It's nothing like whistling. And yeah, I think that paints that picture. Yeah, my character carries that on his back. And I think because the person I looked up to who did this was my father, I bear a strong feeling of responsibility for what happened. And I think part of a goal that I don't know if it was bestowed onto me or something that I believe in, I need to visit places that are sacred to nature and spend some time there doing small ceremonies with this weapon.
I wonder if there's a place like that kind of close to Bourbon. I'm sure that there is.
I think it's whenever we visit like new biomes, I have to find somewhere there.
Yeah. I really like the idea that there's like a ferry in Bourbon.
Yes.
Ferry, not Fairy.
I was going to say like a boat or like the magical creature.
A boat, not a Tinkerbell, that takes you across the river.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a major body of water. Takes you across the bog, or I don't know how swamp work. But takes you to another landmass where, or another end. And I think that maybe that is sort of the general direction that we're heading. Is, we've gone as far as we can this way. There's this giant body of water here, and now we want to get across and keep going. Okay, I like that.
The ferry is powered by 500 fairies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fairy, where the price is always fair.
Can I flavor that a little differently? I love that the ferry is pulled by like hundreds of fireflies.
But then it's not the fairy.
Fine. I just
don't try to enslave my pet, dude. Do you know what it is? Here's what it is. We can synthesize all of these ideas. It's a fairy that is pulled by fireflies, but all the staff, they are fairies. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's the fairy. It's the fairy where the prices are always fair. See, yeah. Does anybody else have any sort of latent character? We can actually just play this out. I think as we're striding into town, Devold is sort of leaning heavy on his walking stick, and Jacob is sitting on his hat. Jacob is Devold's pet firefly. He's sitting on Devold's wide-brimmed hat, kind of sleeping, and it's almost evening time now, I picture. Let's sort of that sort of twilight, sunset, golden hour sort of deal. And Devold is walking with his walking stick with the lantern hanging from it. And I think he looks back and says, well, we've made it to Bourbon. Not that I'm not excited to party it up, but do we have any plans after this? I can guide us where we need to go.
Yeah, I'm looking for someone, but the Volt, what are they celebrating over there?
In Bourbon?
I'm not too keen about what this is for.
Well, it's a little awkward, but I mean, they're celebrating our victory. Armistice Day.
Oh, it's been that long already, huh?
5 years, my friend.
That's
Wow, 5
that's
years.
good. That's a good thing.
Cammy, 5 years ago, you were knee-high on a human. See, that's funny in this world, because grasshoppers are people.
I think
Devold chuckles and lights a cigarette.
Brand goes make sure that his he just goes into his pack, and I think there's a piece of a flag sticking out, and he just kind of shoves it in to make sure it's not out.
I go, yeah, I'd keep that well and tucked if I were you.
I'll be sure to do that. And I've heard there's a very good fire ant brandy here. I'd love to give it a try.
I would be shocked if the town named Bourbon was lacking in alcohol, my dear friend.
Sometimes these things don't go the way you plan for them to.
Sometimes these towns get a little ironic. All right. So we make our way into town. And this is where Wanderhome hits its next stage, which is generating some NPCs. And I think we'll generate them one at a time. I don't think we need to generate them all at once. I enjoy the idea that there's essentially an information stand at the entrance of this place. It's a dude sitting in a booth.
It's a little tourist stand.
Yeah, Ashley, what kind of animal is he?
Frog.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly what I had
that.
in mind. Very good. There's a frog sitting there. Brienne, how is he dressed?
He's got little suspenders on. Little pants. A lot of water. Doesn't want to wear anything too fancy.
I picture him sitting on a really tall stool.
Yes.
And just sort of rocking back and forth.
He's got a lily pad hat.
Oh no, man. It's even better. The window. So normally in a building, right, in one of these stands, there's a lot of I don't know why I'm describing this so weird. The opening for the person is closer to the top of the structure, right? Because they're sitting in a thing or they're standing. No, in this one it's mostly building on the top, and then there's a window on the bottom because he's sitting in a rocking chair.
That's very nice.
And he's rocking back and forth, and he has in his hands, his little frog fingers, a bunch of parchment pamphlets. And does anybody in particular want to take control of this NPC?
I can take him.
Okay. So let's generate some traits for him, which is what we do. So each kith typically has kith are the name for NPCs, kith and kin, which essentially mean family and friends. Have, I believe it's 2 traits, and then we give them a name. So we can choose these traits if we would like to, or we can roll and decide randomly. What would you folks like to do?
I like deciding.
Okay.
But I'm also down to roll.
All right. Well,
they're all 6s. We just choose what kind of trait and then we roll.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's all 6 of a kind. So we can choose an artistic trait, a grounded trait, an intellectual one, a person. Oh, we can even roll that.
Yeah. Okay, here are the traits.
Yeah, because we would decide ourselves if we want to give them a traumatized trait. So there's 6 kinds of traits, and there's 6 traits in each kind of trait.
I say let's roll for this first fella.
Okay.
So let's roll a d6 to determine what his first kind of trait will be.
Rolled a 6, so that first one's going to be a social trait, which is fitting. And then next up, we got a 4, which is...
Let's just get the types of traits first. So he has social and personal if you roll a 4.
Cool. Got it.
And then now we'll roll the specific traits.
Okay, so first the social.
Yes.
Which is a 5.
So he's empathetic. Okay.
Very good. And then now for the personal trait. That's a 6.
So
venerable.
Venerable. Okay.
That's like...
If you want to turn
honorable?
in the PDF, Nick, to empathetic.
Oh, I'm on it. Yeah, I'm at it.
Okay, you can go to empathetic. I'm going to go to venerable, and that way we can...
Perfect. Okay.
A venerable kith is as old as the hills and the earth. They are often mountain gods, isopods from an ancient time, and beings deep in the old dark, among others. Now, that's very interesting, that this old frog man could potentially be I like the idea that he's a god that's retired.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, well, I've had my fill of being a god.
There's something so cool about that, because he might be exactly who I need to talk to point me in the right direction.
Oh, man. Well, I'm right here, sonny. Choose 1 to 2 that they can always do. Offer something that hasn't been seen in a very long time. Show what things were like in more grim times. Ooh. Tell someone how they will repeat the mistakes of the past. If they want to prove you wrong, they're going to need to spend a token. And now tokens in this game, I'll describe briefly. There's essentially a certain amount of criteria that gets you tokens and a certain amount of criteria that you can spend tokens on. And that's really the mechanic of the game. There's no dice. There's no rolling other than what we just did to generate character traits. So I need actually to pop open the when you get and spend tokens so I can make sure that we're taking care of that. Let's do that really quick and see if anybody needs to get a token.
I will go over empathetic while you do that.
Yeah, do that.
An empathetic kith can connect with and understand things no one else can. They are often gentle teachers, affectionate spirits, and anyone who has a knack for getting it, among other things. Choose 1 to 2 they can always do. Communicate with something that can't normally talk. Express a concept in a way everyone understands. Non-verbally ask, what are you feeling? If they don't want to answer you truthfully, they're going to need to spend a token. And I think I know exactly which 2 he has.
Tell me.
He can communicate with somebody that can't normally talk because I think he's got a pet scorpion with him. And it's a little play on the Frey and the scorpion. Frog and the scorpion, Frey.
Scorpion and the toad, yeah.
Scorpion and the toad, there we go. And then I think he can non-verbally ask, what are you feeling?
Cool. I think, actually, I will take control of this gentleman, since I think your character is going to have a meaningful interaction with him more than Devold would. And I have a good idea of who this dude is. The last thing to do is to give him a name.
How about Kith for our first Kith?
That's kind of cool in its own weird way.
Keith. Yeah,
oh God, not Keith again.
His name is Keith.
Don't ever name anybody Keith willingly.
We didn't. You forced it upon me.
Keith Spry.
Keith Spry.
Keith Spry is very cute.
Kith Spry is cute.
Okay. I've been outnumbered. Keith Spry it is. No, that's totally fine. Okay, so yeah, you walk up. And Nick, by the way, go ahead and get a token.
Okay.
Because you did speak your true feelings on a subject a little bit when we talked about what the festival was about and what we may be walking into.
Gotcha. Very cool.
And so yeah, you walk up, and Kith is rocking in his chair, and I think the scorpion is resting on top of his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of like doesn't look at you. His eyes are kind of grayed over, and he kind of, to nobody in particular, just goes, information here. Get your information here. Festival, 5-year festival information here.
It's I'm obliged to see you. You've got some information about some things here in the town?
I wish I could say the same to you, my friend, he says, very much not looking in your direction. and he says, "Help a old fella out," and he sticks out his arm, kind of holding the pamphlet around, and you deduce that this man is quite blind.
You're one of them cloud eyes, I see.
That's a fancier name than what I'd call it, friend. I'd say I've been robbed of the vision.
I ain't never... Is that born with or something that developed?
No, I saw for a long time, but these days I think I'm seeing more than I ever have. Except for your face. I still...
Yes.
You take the...
Here,
It's embarrassing for me.
Noodle, I don't have...
Oh, that's right. I guess Cammy will come up and and use her little paw and like grab it.
Oh, you're a cat man, I understand.
Oh,
Are you one of them North cat men?
Well, I'm a cat woman. Yeah.
Oh, how many of there are you? I feel...
And he pulls from behind him this little kind of walking stick, and he taps it onto the ground and goes, "I feel
2, 3. 4 of you. Oh, wow. You're quite the party. What brings you to Bourbon? Is it the festival?
Just passing through, stranger. Saw it on our way, saw some sort of celebration happening here. Celebrating the war. Is that right?
That accent of yours.
Yeah.
You from across the sea?
I am. I am from across the sea.
That's okay, friend. Only friends in Bourbon. No lingering resentment here. You're welcome to it. We got games and activities and alcohol streets going crazy this time of year, and they're still trying to come up with a better name for it. Maybe you might help them with that. Give them one of them fancy oppressor names. I'm sorry, that was rude of me. Old habits, they die hard. You understand.
Yeah. Listen, we treat each other to some fire ant brandy. I hear is pretty good here in town, and we'll call it square, yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's Jonas's fire brandy. His tavern's just right down the way. You can't miss it. You go past the tree, past the other tree. There's some swamp water. Don't go in there. And then just look for the sign that says Jonas's Tavern.
To add a level of infallibility to him, I really love the idea that the trees have long since tipped over. And they're like mostly submerged, and I'm like looking hard for the second trees there, but the first and third are not.
I like the idea that like he is pointing at where trees are. Like he has a very clear idea of where you actually are supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like there's like a cross section of the town street with a street sign that has arrows pointing in different directions.
Yes.
And it's very clearly a temporary thing made for this festival. It's like kind of scrawled on in like almost childish writing, like little kids helped make this.
Now here's a question I want to clear up, because I have a certain vision in my head about what Bourbon looks like, but I'm not sure we're on the same page. I want to make sure we are.
Sure.
Is this place swamp ground, or is because the way I'm imagining it, and I think this is where I'm differing, I think this is built above a swamp, and this is all like wooden raft and bridges.
Yeah, that's a totally fair way to characterize it.
But I don't know if we want it to just be like there are small pockets of land that's where places are.
Yeah, I don't think that it is literally entirely like stilts and slats, but I think that the main thoroughfares of the town are these sort of nice kind of wooden bridges.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea that there are little kind of like clumps of land where like small neighborhoods are built on, or like, you know,
some of the more like necessary buildings that require stability are probably built there.
Like you can see like in the distance, maybe there's like a council house or something that is built kind of atop, like maybe even like a man-made outcropping.
Yeah.
Like it's like a bunch of tree trunks piled on top of each other, and like some magic used to fuse them together.
What if the town square, like the central of the town, is like each of the corners is one of the landmass, and like in the center, like this big open square where trade happens and people sit is all wood, and like just over the water,
and it's just kind of a bunch of bridges extending outward. That's very good.
I like that a lot. I'm sorry about this. Now I know who Jacob is, but it's incredibly rude of me. My name's Bran, and I'm afraid I have done you the dishonor of not asking your name, so if you would do me the pleasure.
I don't know anybody by the name of Jacob except a little man that died long ago. Did you mean Jonas?
Jonas, yeah. I'm terrible with names. I'm trying to think of spices that I need to remember to add into my next. It's not important.
Devold elbows you and he goes, "This is Jacob."
Like, come on, dude. We've been over this. I apologize for my friend, good sir. And he goes, "Oh, no apology necessary. We all make mistakes in life. You know, from the small little mistakes that get you with the wrong woman to the great big mistakes that keep you with the wrong woman. But no apology necessary, friend. My name's Kith Spry, and I've been living in Bourbon before Bourbon was called this place. It was called, well, it was just mostly water. You don't want my whole life story, but I'll tell you 3 things about Bourbon that you ought to know. 1, folk are mighty kind here, but be kind in response. Mutual respect is real big around here. Number 2, there's a lot of lovely shops down in the shopping district. Your cat lady might like to get a dress or 2 from there. And the 3rd thing,
And he starts to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yes?
yes,
You happen to know of any moth towers around?
moth towers?
Yeah. We got a moth tender with us and want to make sure that they can do as they do and tend to there.
Is that right?
Yeah. If you want to introduce yourself, and I look over towards Noodle.
He kind of like pushes his chest out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I am Noodle, and I actually think I might have a letter here for you.
He goes, my word, is that right? Hand it here now.
And he sticks out his hand, and the scorpion goes down onto his hand and also sticks out a pincer. And they're both...
It's very
Oh, wait
cute.
a minute. What's that? What's that little guy's name?
Oh, this here's Benjamin. He's been a friend of mine for as long as I can remember. Ain't that right, Benjamin?
And it just goes...
Yeah, he's a good little fella. Don't worry, he won't hurt you. His stinger don't do nothing.
Noodle digs through his bag. Well, what do you know? There's a letter addressed to both of you.
Is that right?
And he takes it, and he very kind of adeptly slides his thumb under the kind of seal of the envelope and flips out the paper with both hands, not with one hand, because he's not holding a microphone like I am. And you can see very quickly he puts the letter on his lap and starts moving his fingers across it because it's written in Braille.
Can I characterize something a little different for Braille here?
Sure.
Just because it's very interesting to me.
Yeah,
'Cause,
absolutely.
A letter being able to maintain itself that's like stiff is weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love the idea that he's a frog person. This is a swamp area. I think Braille here is similar and ideal. They write the letter out, but the ink they use is very special. It's a wet letter, but everywhere the ink is dry.
Mm.
And that's what he
Oh.
feels because Frog's a very sensitive touch to that sort of thing.
Okay. Sure.
And I really like that that's how he can tell it.
Yeah, and he moves his fingers across it. What do you think the letter says? And if you don't want to determine necessarily what it says, you can give me or the table an idea of who it's from.
I was hoping it was a love letter.
Ooh.
Are you trying to offload your love letter from one of your 3 things you have to deliver?
I think it's a different one.
Different one? Cool.
Yeah.
I love the idea that this dude's getting a love letter.
Oh, is this fan mail?
I think it might be more of a fan mail love letter.
That's very good.
Kith got Riz.
Kith got riz, dude. He runs his finger over it and goes, ha,
I haven't got one of these in some time. Oh. Well, I'll save the rest for later, I think.
and he turns around and he opens up this little compartment and there's a fucking ton of letters in there.
I think I'm sticking out my tongue and like I'm like, perfume?
Wait. Noodle would say that's what I did too. I mean that's what I would do.
What's your meaning by that exactly?
I would save it for later too. You know,
Oh.
it's nice to go home and cuddle up with a letter.
Yeah,
It's nice.
cuddle up, sure. Sure, my little furry friend.
And he goes and he puts it in there and he like kind of like feels the letters like he's feeling down for something and there's like a little tab there and he's like, oh, that's the one. And he lifts it up and shoves it on the top and he's like,
Yeah, me and Benjamin we'll get deep into that later tonight. Little bedtime story maybe. I thank you kindly for that, young friend. What a wild coincidence.
Well, do you have any letters for me?
Let me take a look.
and he goes And he walks back into his little shack and starts filing through things. And he goes, well, none that are complete, I'm afraid. Writing's been real slow these days. Mostly thoughts up here. But you come back through town and I promise I'll have something for you and your little friends.
I will.
And I want you to take a token for that, Ashley. That was very good. He says, well, you folks just let me know if you need anything from me at all. I'll be here day and night and day, until the days and nights aren't night and day.
All right, Kith. I just got one more question, if you don't mind.
Sure, Columbo, what's your deal?
For all the kids that aren't 1,000 years old out there, there was a TV show named Columbo where a detective would always turn around and go, dude, just one more thing. And so you said one more question. And so,
Yeah.
So boomer, L plus ratio, etc.
Kith, you wouldn't happen to know of any, I'm looking for a place touched by spirits. I don't know if that means anything to you, but I'm trying to feel closer to the ground and the swamp. And I'm sorry for wasting your time.
He goes, you mean like a worship house? Around these parts, people don't really do much except for the odd ritual here and there, but, I mean, there's me.
You, Kith? What does that mean?
I mean, I've been here longer than Bourbon's been here, friend. I may not be in practice anymore, but I did preach a little bit in my day, and people did listen. I was the god of relaxation.
I think you're still doing a mighty fine job of that, Kith.
Oh, you never forget that skill, my friend.
And Benjamin runs up his arm and sits on his head again, and he starts kind of petting it, and he goes,
I don't really have a place of worship anymore, but if you have something you need to get off your chest, you come around here private like, and we'll see to it.
Then I'll be back. And what you drink, Kith?
These days, mostly water, friend.
I'll bring you a real good glass of water then.
You tell Jonas to put 3 ice cubes in it, no more, no less.
3 ice cubes, just how Kith like.
Just how Keith like. That's absolutely right.
You got it.
and he kind of taps the ground with his cane, and goes, well, don't spend any more time talking to these old froggy bones. You get yourself out there and have a good armistice day, or as good as you could anyway.
Hey, an armistice is the best day I could imagine.
Here, here, friend.
Here, here.
To more relaxation.
And hopefully no more of anything else. And I think I slither away.
So here's something that we should talk about now that a couple of you have tokens. You can spend a token to provide a solution for an aspect of a material or immediate problem, ease someone's pain if only for a moment, keep someone safe from the difficulties of the world, offer someone the chance to connect with you on a personal level, find what someone needs to give them a chance to change fundamentally, reveal something hidden about the person in front of you and ask them what it is, know something important about the place that you're in and tell the table about it. That might be interesting. And listen to the shared wisdom of the many and small forgotten gods and ask the table what they tell you. It's quite interesting.
Very cool, just because I want to point it out. It is, I have a letter for you. They get a token if the Moth Butler gets a token if they accept the letter. So that was perfectly exactly what happened.
I figured there was no way that she doesn't get a token for playing her character that perfectly.
It's very cool.
So that rips. So yeah, where are we going now? We're going to Jonas's, I guess, right? To get you a whiskey.
Yeah, trying to get some Fire Ant whiskey. Fire Ant brandy.
Fire Ant brandy. Now, is this like an ant that bites you and it hurts? Or is this like someone's really attractive auntie?
No, I think it's Fire Ant. It bites you and it hurts.
I would like someone's fire ant to bite me. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think the way it is characterized is very similar to how we do scorpions and what's the one in Mexico? The common one,
Like a tequila?
Tequila. Thank you. In tequila, it's very common practice in Mexico that if it's made in Mexico, you leave a scorpion's dead body in it. And I wonder if this is similar to that of like I don't think it's a dead body. I think there's like a glass stopper, and inside of the glass stopper is a fire ant.
That's cool.
Yeah. And and I think it is like, I wonder if it's an actual fire ant or like, oh, because fire ants would be big here, right? Bigger than what we see them as.
Mhm.
I love the idea that maybe it's the whole stopper and like the actual part that blocks off the drink is like the abdomen.
It could just be like the like pincer
Oh, that'd be cool.
or something, like a pincer.
Yeah, a pincer of a fire ant. That's very cool. I like that
Yeah.
a lot. And I think the bottle is like like a very nice vibrant red that fades into an orange as it goes up.
All right. Yeah. As we're walking, is there anything else that someone can think of that they would like to do in town, other than Brand's drink? Cammy, is there anything you'd like to do? Or Noodle, anything you'd like to do while we're here?
I kind of like the idea that there are string lights across the water, like not in the like across the water,
Yes.
and she is just enthralled by like all of the lights and the colors and just like basically the festival vibe. She just is absolutely loving the atmosphere. It's so different from where she comes from.
Yeah, I think if I could recharacterize the string lights a little bit, I think that they are like little like paper lanterns
Mm-hmm.
hanging
yeah.
from sort of like nice
like that.
string.
Oh, and then
Um,
all over the place in the water is like
mhm.
lily pads with the same lanterns on it floating around, and they've got like little wishes and names written on them for people who've put them out.
Yeah, and there's like
Maybe
whatever.
to remember the lost in the
I was
war.
gonna say, I think names of people who were lost during the war back in the day.
That's good. We'll have to revisit that in a minute. I think that there's also this world's equivalent of a paddle boat.
Yeah,
And, two young lovers are just kind of paddling along, leaving soft ripples in the water. And I think as we kind of crest along the bridge leading into the central square of Bourbon, a cool breeze kind of starts to rustle and swing the lanterns back and forth. And it's that kind of nice, crisp, like 62-degree air. Like
Yeah.
it's a perfect day. And it's shifting into what what everyone in this town hopes will be a great fucking night. And off in the distance, you can hear kind of the beating drums of music and the kind of raucous cheer of people engaging in some sort of activities. I think as we're walking, you hear, "Excuse me, coming through," and someone riding what is essentially a archaic scooter zooms past us holding boxes of food, and they're off to deliver food somewhere. I like the idea that they're a little raccoon just zooming by on a scooter.
Noodle looks at them and gives them a little salute.
Oh.
They turn around and give you a bow and narrowly crash into somebody, and only at the last moment turn around them. Yeah, there's like town criers. But instead of yelling out about news, they're yelling out about like fun things you can do. They're like, "Play a cornhole over here. You can get yourself a nice stuffed animal. You can shoot me. I'm a guy that you can shoot, and nothing bad will happen to me. Shoot me over here." And it's just a guy with a bunch of arrows in him, and he's a tree person, and he's just fine. He's like, "Shoot an arrow in me. If you hit my eye, I'll give you a branch."
Another thing I want to characterize too for Brand, just because I like the idea of this, I think Brand is like following along with you guys, but in the water, because I'm very long, and I think I get in the way of traffic and out of like a sense of just convenience for everyone else. And I think I'm not alone. I think there are like
there's definitely
alligators and other aquatic type
Mhm.
animals that are just more comfortable in the water.
Yeah, sure, that's great. So you're doing that.
And I think I very much like. I think this is internally, but Brand loves when people step on the bridges nearby. It vibrates the water, and I think it's a very relaxing feeling for Brand
Love that.
to have those thumps in the water when he's in it.
I think Devold kind of slows up and lets Brand and Noodle take the lead, since they both want to go get a drink, and we know the general direction we're heading anyway. And he kind of falls back to where Cammy is and goes, "You doing okay?"
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is amazing. I've never like seen a festival like this before. The lights, the people, it's all so exciting.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's been a while since I've been back to Bourbon, but it's a good place.
Oh, when were you here last?
Ooh,
More than 5 years ago.
Oh,
And he smiles
Sorry.
kind of sadly, and he goes, "No, that's fine, that's fine." Yeah, old love of mine was here, but
really?
these things they come and go. She might still be here. I don't know, but we probably won't come across her.
I don't know. And she's gonna kind of like elbow your arm.
He pulls his hat down further over his eyes, and lights another cigarette and goes, she wouldn't want nothing to do with me anyway. But let's go get our boys some drinks and figure out what we're gonna do with the rest of our evening.
quick thing, just so we remember.
Mhm.
A swamp can always describe
Mm.
the heaviness of the world,
Mm-hmm.
show tension caused by stagnation, and bog someone down and give them a token.
Okay.
Are you getting bogged down right now? Remembering who you were here with last?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is. Paint that
Yeah.
scene for me. What does that look like for you through your eyes?
I think it's that very clear thing where if like this was a TV show and it was like kind of a poorly produced TV show, there would be literal flashbacks of him like hanging out with a girl here and like strolling through town and kind of cutting back to him. And it's like a little too on the nose. But I think what it really is like kind of what Cammy saw, which was just like his eyes go a little blank, and it's just like you can see memories behind them, you know?
To follow in the line of what Wanderhome says, I love that this is like, to paint those flashbacks better, I think it is literally you looking into the water and like remembering what she looked like in a reflection with the fireworks as her background.
What did she look like?
We'll figure that out eventually.
Dang it!
Yeah,
I want to know.
we'll have a conversation with Devold about that at some
But
point.
yeah, I think Devold, that's definitely a get a token from the swamp sort of thing.
Yeah, I will remember that I have one of those hanging around. Brienne, I will give you a token as well, or you get a token. I'm not giving you this. I don't have dominion over this. I'm just throwing them
cool.
at people. Because you took a moment to bask in the grandeur of the world,
Oh, thanks.
which is nice. And we love that. Okay, so
Is that the scene for you too? Because I love that it pans over to then me and
yeah, absolutely.
Brandon Noodle, and I think I'm coming along. We're walking into the bar, Jonas's bar, and I think I'm turning.
Describe Jonas's bar for me, actually, and then we can play this scene.
Okay, Jonas's bar. Noodle, do you want to describe a bar for me? You actually have more knowledge about bars than I actually do, which is very funny to think about.
I think this is gonna be one of those like real cozy bars with like the nice, pretty like twinkly lights.
They got those craft beer lights.
Oh my god, is it like the empty glasses and like mugs and
Oh
stuff
my
that they're
God.
too dirty, so they
Yeah.
use it as like light
And there's
fixtures?
candles in there.
Mhm.
Everything's made out of dark wood. It's very.
It smells like lavender in here.
Mm.
Jonas's wife insists on spraying the essential oils that she makes around, and I think it drives him crazy. He's like, no one wants a bar to smell like lavender. Like,
Can I do something then that's a little funny?
yes,
I think this bar is incredibly popular to more like, I think there's definitely a more like female, there's a more women to men ratio here
Demographic.
than usual because like it's just a much more pleasant smelling bar.
yeah.
And I think there's still a lot of guys who, and I think there's a lot of guys who come and like, I don't come for the smell, but like they come because it smells nice.
It's an interesting question, right? Like we haven't necessarily characterized how big Bourbon is exactly.
Mhm.
And I guess in a town named Bourbon, there's definitely more than one bar, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
kind of foolish of me to even pose the question. So we'll stop that thought where it starts. But yeah, I like the idea that Jonas's bar is kind of kind of has the reputation of being like everyone goes to Jonas's when they fucking come through town because everyone is told to go to Jonas's, but you go down to fucking Brett's Tavern and it smells like shit and then like people are fighting constantly, but like it's like really funny and like everyone is like it's like there's like a literal fight club, but like the cutest fight club ever where it's just a bunch of little animal dudes boxing.
It's gloves that are filled with feathers.
I'd like to add to the description.
Yes, it's your
Um,
description.
Yes, please.
I think every cup is a different cup, and the bartender gives you the cup that she thinks fits your personality.
Oh man, is the bartender Jonas's wife?
Yeah, I wanted to say, I think establishing history to this place, there was an argument where he's like, if you don't pull down that lavender shit, I swear to God, I'm gonna. And she's just like, look at our profits. Look at how much traction we've gotten in the city for just the last 2 weeks. I've been making it smell nice in here. And he had to shut up because he took it down for a while and everyone was complaining.
She's like, you understand that Kith is going to put us in the festival pamphlet this year, right? Like, you understand what that's going to do for us? And
She saw his threat and raised him scented candles.
I think
Oh my
every
gosh.
time any newcomer comes to say something about the smell, he rolls his eyes and she gives him like a "I told you so" good grin.
Every compliment is that interaction, and every guy going like, smells kind of girly in here, is him looking at her and her being like, stop.
I love that she's subtle about it when people compliment it, but when someone's complains like a guy, he's like, see? That's what I tell her.
Oh, I fucking told you. Oh, that's very good. Okay, cool.
Now we need both of them to have names though.
Yeah, so Jonas, and then if anybody has a name for his wife, shout it out.
Sandra,
fantastic.
Jonas and Sandra.
Jonas and Sandra, the proprietors of, do we have a name for this place?
Either Noodle or Chamomile. I'd like to give you guys a little more.
Yeah.
Me and Dan tend to have a lot of traction in games we play, but this is one where we can really throw that pressure at you two because it's very easy and low stakes.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer.
It's Ponder.
Oh,
Ponder's
that's
so cute. And it's just pond with a hyphen ER, right? Because they're on a swamp and they're calling it the pond. That's very
Yes,
cute.
I like that.
Do you think they had a little in the center is a little raised pond of the swamp water?
What it is Brienne, please describe something if you
Yes.
have an idea.
No. Oh no, I was trying to imagine. I'm sorry, I couldn't picture what you were talking about.
No, if Dan's got some edited to make it a little more easy to imagine.
Yeah, what I was going to say was their profits have been soaring, and so Sandra has really been pushing for renovations.
Yeah.
This place is old as shit, dude. We could make it so much better. We're gonna make it better for the festival. I don't care what you say. It's gonna be really fucking cool when the festival happens. You're not gonna embarrass me. And so what they did was they hollowed out an area in the middle of the what was previously the dance floor.
Yeah.
That again she insisted on having. And yeah, they just sort of bore down until you can just look down and see the water. And I think that they have little lanterns hanging from underneath the tavern that lights up the water, and so you can see little fish and the plant life underneath kind of swimming
Dude,
around.
Not just that too, it's all the people who are more comfortable in the water now have a place that they can come
yeah.
and feel more
There's
comfortable in.
raised countertops
Yeah,
around
inside.
it.
And
my!
there's
It's like a
crocodile
fucking
guys.
It's a hotel pool bar.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh, and if I could add on to that, I think there are glass sections around the place that you can just look down and see other people
yeah.
drinking and stuff.
God, this place is yuppie as shit.
Yeah.
The people that live in Bourbon are so over this place. They're only fucking tourists go to Ponder. Are you kidding me? I go to Brett's beers and biscuits.
They have
Oh, I thought
fucking
you were gonna
regular
go
chairs.
bitches.
Brett's beers and bitches. That's where all the sexy dogs go.
Oh,
Saffron's like, what?
It's literally just
She's
female
gonna
dogs
bop
that
him on
run
the nose.
place.
No.
Brett's beer and bitches. It's his multiple dog wives.
Okay, moving swiftly along. Oh,
I'm
jeez.
imagining Sandra with a southern accent.
Yeah, I think look,
We've
it's,
already given Bourbon what the accent is.
Yeah,
I
it's-
I'm just
think.
making. I'm
it's
just
impossible not to characterize swampland with a bayou water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, coming out of Kith's voice and going back
I
into
noticed DeWalt.
into Duvall's he's not Southern. He has a low gravelly voice, but he's not Southern. Stop it.
Kicking into Brand is hard when I'm not talking like Brand.
Anyway, yeah. So that's Ponder. It's really really cute. and awesome, and I fucking love this. Let's
Just real quick.
yeah, please.
I think people slip a lot here because of the pond is new, right? Brand new. There's a lot of water that just gets on the ground because like some of the crocodile people step out from the pond and like go up to the bar to ask for drinks, and like there's just a trail of water, and like you just see some guys like woof.
The waitresses all walk very carefully.
Yes.
And I think like on the bottoms of their feet, if they're wearing shoes, there's like towels on the bottom of them for both traction and cleaning.
Oh yeah.
Cool. What animal types do we think Jonas and Sandra are? Are they the same animal? Are they different animals? What are we thinking? You know what? Here's what we'll do. We'll hold off on that. Let's play your guys' scene. And then we'll roll up traits for both Jonas and Sandra. And then we can kind of decide from there.
As we're walking in, the doors start to slide open. I think, Noodle, you're a little ahead of me. And I think my tail like catches up to you, and it's a little wet, but I push it against your chest and kind of pull you back a little bit. Noodle, you good to drink?
Are you kidding me?
I don't listen, Noodle. We've been through a bit together, but I don't know what the rules here are, but I need to.
Look, I know I don't look it, but I can put them away.
You can. Are we talking about letters here, Noodle, or?
Well, not specifically, but I could put those away too.
Noodle, I just want to make sure you're okay to take like. You can drink. I can't stop you from drinking. That's not what this is about. I want to make sure your letters are going to be okay.
If I start getting a little crazy, you can step in.
Are you okay to hold on to your bag of letters?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what the rules are for the moth tenders to be drinking on the job, or if you're on the job, or even how that works. I knew when I was on the job, but that's not pertinent.
I value nothing more than these letters.
I believe you. All right. Let's have a good time. The first round's on me.
What do you, what's like a normal thing to order?
You spent the whole conversation trying to convince me you drink the first fucking question.
Yeah, man, I do a lot of alcohol.
You know what?
What's a normal alcohol that people like to do here?
I think I'm going to be a little dishonest. Here's what you're going to want to do, okay? How much do you know about alcohol?
I know that alcohol tastes bad, so you put it in fruity stuff.
Cool. I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to want to order a Bloody Mary or a margarita. Those are pretty good. Say virgin and they add more sugar.
Squint my eyes at you. I know more than you think I know.
You can't blame me for trying. Say on the rocks then. Margarita on the rocks is a good starting place for you.
I don't want rocks in my cup.
The rocks give off salt.
Why are you so concerned with the saltiness of my drink?
Okay.
Oh no, on the rocks here is certainly now in my mind like frozen salt that like slowly bubbles into the drink.
That's cool.
Noodle walks up to the counter. Excuse me.
And now we create these people.
Yes, a nondescript amorphous shadow turns around. Character creation. Okay. Do you want to roll some dice, Nick?
We got a 1. What
Okay.
kind of trait is that?
Since Noodle may have to have seen with her, mind if I voice Sandra?
Yeah,
Please.
go for it.
Please.
Me and Dan would love to be less of the centers of attention.
Yes.
But also in that same vein, me and Dan are totally fine voicing characters, so your guys' actual characters can have moments.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the balance of this game when you're playing without a GM is finding moments for everybody to have a voice, both as NPCs and as their own characters, and kind of figuring that out. So here's the thing. This is definitely Sandra, because 1 is an artistic. So go ahead and roll her other trait, Nick.
5.
A physical trait.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and roll me up what the specifics are.
1.
She's crafty.
Cool.
Very
I'll
appropriate.
go over to crafty.
Okay.
And then now for the physical trait. Another 1.
She's adventurous. So I will go to adventurous.
Oh, dude, of course she is. She made this open floor design.
Yeah, that worked out quite well.
I think she
for
has
her.
coined the term open air design.
I'm going to propagate it around town. The open air design, it's going to revolutionize things here in Bourbon.
And something very cool that I think is very interesting if you want to try it. I really like if they're both this way, but very different about how they go about, like, crafty and adventurous.
You want to give them both the same traits?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as like a yin and yang to one another almost.
Sure.
Because they don't have to be in the same things. And I think that's a fun little challenge for us to characterize.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. Because they are adventurous, choose 1 to 2 that they can always do. Declare where you're going next, charge headfirst into trouble, or have circumstances improbably work out for you.
What do you want them to have on the adventurous side? Maybe 1 each?
Yeah, I think Sandra is going to be definitely the type to declare where you're going next. And Jonas is charging headfirst into trouble, which is often angering his wife.
Cool. And then for crafty, I'll go ahead and hit those. A crafty kith is a very skilled at painting all of the pieces together in a very unconventional way.
Okay.
They are often tinkers, mongers, magicians, among others. Choose 1 to 2 that they can always do. Invent something totally new. That's straight up going to Sandra. Propose an alternate approach. Reveal that a plan they've had in motion has paid off. I think Sandra is invent something that totally new. And I love if Jonas is revealed that a plan they've had in motion has paid off, because when she gets angry that he's bullheadedly rushed into something, he turns around and is like, but it worked out. It's like he doesn't tell her until the plan's already done.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so Noodle walks up to the bar and Sandra turns around and she is what kind of animal?
Wouldn't it be funny if one was a mouse and one was like a bigger animal? Like if she was a mouse, so she had to, like, she kind of has to like be super loud to feel heard.
I like Sandra as a mouse a lot.
Sandra's a mouse.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Is
Sandra's
she-
a mouse and we'll figure out Jonas in a minute.
How tiny? Or just like a short person?
Yeah, she's
Yeah, I
just like a
think
short
short.
person.
Okay.
I would say she's probably like 5'1" at the most.
Little mouse with big hair.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, it's got a big poofy head piece.
Oh, absolutely.
That's very good.
Absolutely. Well, hi there, will you have to drink?
I have a question.
Absolutely, hon. What is it?
I look back at Brand like with a squinty eye and look back at you. If I ask for a virgin, does that mean you put more sugar in it?
I think I'm behind her nodding at you at the part, and I like try to stop before.
She's gonna kind of like quickly like make a quick eye dart over there, over behind you, and she got. Well, of course, darling. Haven't you heard that before?
Noodle tries to look back at Brand and back at you.
I shrug 2 sides of my back.
Would you like with extra sugar? Sugar.
I would like. Brand, could you
Yeah.
just give us a minute?
I put my arm around Brand's neck and I go, "Well, let's go find a table, maybe." And
Yeah.
and we saunter off.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm like, all right, you okay. Be good, Noodle.
He keeps his arm around Brand and he goes, sometimes I've found letting people make the mistake is better than trying to get them to avoid it. We'll take care of her. Him. Fuck. Fuck. And he gets like really upset.
Yeah, I love that. I think Brand is like, look, I'm more worried for the letters than for Noodle. Noodle can handle himself, but if Noodle vomits on a letter, he's gonna be giving himself a mighty fine earful later.
Devald goes, "Well, it's nearly nighttime. Jacob should be waking up soon. He can ferry her letters.
All right, that's
His letters. Fuck!
You'll get there one day, Devald. It's not.
It's just, if I could be candid with you,
Yeah.
he's just kind of pretty.
No, I get it.
You know?
There's something. There's something there.
There's a beauty there.
There's a vulnerability that at least my idea of a man is very flawed, Devald, and I'm trying to get
Yours
over
and mine
that.
both, I reckon.
Yeah, I think that is a product of 5 years ago. We'll get through this.
We sit down and go ahead and continue your guys' scene.
All right, now I got to be absolutely transparent with you. A virgin is not extra sugar.
I knew it.
At this point in time, like as you're finishing that sentence, Jonas walks up, who he is like 6'7", and has a big mane. He's a lion.
Nice.
And he goes, "Virgin? Don't sell virgin drinks here. You go to one of those pussy other places."
Oh, well, now you shut your mouth right now.
He looks like, "We don't sell Do you have the drinks for table 3?
Someone in the crowd pricks their ears up. A gazelle is just like, y'all sell virgins again?
He looks at them. "I warned you, David."
He like ducks. He like gets on all fours and like prances out.
Now, don't you listen to him, darling. He's all talking, no bite.
He as he walks off, he's like, "No one ever does listen to me around here."
There's a reason for that.
You hear him go "Arr," as he picks up the drinks. That's very good.
It's okay. He's right. I don't want that.
Absolutely, darling. Just tell me what you want and we can get it for you.
Okay. I just...
Hold on. I'm very sorry. There's no way that he would let this go. He turns around, he goes, "You see? No one wants that shit. I'm right."
She's gonna roll her eyes. Stubborn ass.
He goes, "They heard me. Everyone heard. I mean, everyone heard that I was right."
And the whole half of the bar, we all like in unison, like this has happened multiple times. We all heard you, Jonas.
I'll go somewhere else.
Now, why don't you go to the back and wash something if you're gonna be so spiteful?
Wash my ass with your fucking...
They all look at Sandra and give her like that, like, and like go back to drinking with their groups.
She's gonna throw a rag over her shoulder and just go back to, all right, well, sorry about that.
As Jonas walks off with the drinks, he leans down and kisses the top of Sandra's head and goes, "I love you."
She's gonna pat his cheek. "Love you too."
And then walks off.
All right. So here's the thing. My friend is really cool, and I just don't want to embarrass myself. So I just, I didn't know what to order because, I've had a drink or two, but I've never had to order my own drinks.
Oh,
So,
I see.
I didn't know what to ask for.
You know what? That's totally fine. Absolutely fine. Why don't you tell me what kind of stuff you like and we can figure this out together?
Okay. Well, I know alcohol's yucky.
It can be.
So-
It absolutely can be.
So, I want something that doesn't taste yucky.
Well, why don't I give you some options? All right. So we've got something a little bit more stout, which is going to be your normal whiskey and Coke. That's going to be a little bit harder. So it's a classic, though. There is always there's the fruity ones that are really good, but you got to be careful. They'll get you drunk fast.
I will take one of those.
Absolutely. And you know what? And she's going to reach over and if your paw's on the table, she's going to kind of just get close to it. She'll be like, "You know what? Tell him you got full strength. I'll put in half. We'll see how you do. If you're feeling good after, you can come back and get another one."
I like you.
I like you too, darling.
Jonas comes back, holding in his hand, a very small glass of this sort of like pink liquid that sort of sparkles and glitters. And it's like the girliest drink you've ever seen. But like, it's going to be fucking delicious. Like you're going to take a drink and be like, why would anyone ever have anything else? And he puts it down and he reaches under the table and picks up a rock and smashes it in his hand and drops one little tiny piece in, and he pushes it across and he goes, "Fruity Pebble."
I love that.
Oh, wait. She's gonna reach into the counter, pull out a little umbrella, and like stick it in the drink.
Jonas is full
thank you.
rolling his eyes.
This looks amazing.
Jonas walks off like shaking his hand.
Dude, Jonas walks off and like dunks his hand in straight ethanol.
Wait. Okay. Thank you. But I have a plan.
Okay.
Okay. So I want to order my friend the same drink, but you make his really strong so that when he sees me drink mine, he's going to think I'm really cool because I could handle something really strong.
All right. So I can't over alcohol someone. I don't want to do that. But your fella is pretty large. I think I can help you out.
I think my
there.
body is literally out of the door and like my tail's still in the water.
Jonas comes back with a giant glass with a pincer in the bottom, and it's sort of this like amber liquid that has like almost like, do you remember I don't know if you ever had marbles when you were a kid?
Yeah.
The kind of like swirly bits on the inside. It's
The
like
cat's
that.
eye?
Yeah, like cat's eye. Exactly like that. Like that, but it's red. And like red and kind of like shades of burgundy and maroon. And he puts it down and he goes, "Fire whiskey for your friend." Or fire brandy, sorry. Whatever, who cares? And he walks off.
There's something so endearing that he remembered Fruity Pebble, the drink, but can't remember Fire Ant Brandy, his actual hard drink.
Yeah. He named none of them. He's just like, this is the one that has the ant thing in it. I don't hear.
But it's very sweet that he remembered the one his wife probably made.
Think she's maybe gotten on him for not remembering in the past or calling
That's
it
very
derogatory names.
Oh, and she absolutely like suggests this drink all the time, so he hears this name constantly. But here, so well, it looks like this will be your friend's drink. Tell him we put the same amount of alcohol in it.
All right.
All right. Now you take care now.
Thanks. And then I'm going to just carry both of our drinks to Brand.
You come over and it's me and the vaults, and I'm just like, I just don't know how Noodle's gonna handle alcohol. But it's just, again, those letters are gonna be, if they're wet, listen, no one can be angrier at Noodle than Noodle.
I think Devald literally does that as Noodle walks up. He's just like,
Something in your throat? I'm just worried about the boys all.
yeah, no, nothing. Hi, Noodle. What you drinking?
Well, I am drinking a very strong Fruity Pebble.
That, I think I go and I like, excuse me, and I go into the water and like start laughing with my head dunked in the water in the center of the pond, and I come back dripping. That sounds like a mighty fine drink.
Devald like fully has his hat down in front of his entire face. And is just like,
I'll admit, I don't think Cammy gets this. I think she's just looking at you two laughing, and she's looking at Noodle, and she's just like,
he
what?
Devald leans forward and he goes, "Full disclosure, brandy tastes terrible. So if you can drink alcohol that tastes good, more power to you."
That's what I was saying. Alcohol's yucky.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for sure.
When you have senses like mine, it's very particularly hard to find a drink that tastes good. What I have found is that when it's alcohol that's more straight alcohol, it burns me so much that I don't taste it no more. So brandy and hard liquors is where I stay. But even a drink like that one, I'm going to taste the alcohol before I ever taste any of the sugar. So I enjoy my drink this way. And I think
Enjoy?
you learn to deal with some bitterness in your life. It makes you stronger.
Well, my new friend says that our drinks are just as strong. So,
I don't know. That's a very intimidating color coming out of yours.
oh, would you like to try it?
You know, I wouldn't want to take from your cup. And I think I pop open the cork on mine and I just like start like glugging it with my tail a little
I
bit.
like whisper to Cammy, he's scared.
"Oh, definitely." Oh, sorry. Oh, definitely.
Cammy responds wearing Sandra's skin.
Oh my god.
Oh, definitely. Cammy, oh my god. Sorry, I got a little hungry.
Brand like holds over the bottle to Devald. Would you like any?
Not much for me. Thank you.
Not a drinker?
Not for a while now.
Oh,
He starts to Devald kind of like feels at the top of his hat and picks Jacob off of it, and as he picks it off, you can see Jacob's little butt starting to flash.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, little man's waking up. Time to go for a walk." He's gonna outgrow this area pretty quickly. I'll catch you guys in a bit. And he uses his walking stick to stand up and kind of saunters out of the room. And literally before he leaves the room, Jacob is the size of like a small dog. And as he gets out, he crosses the threshold, and as he walks by the window, he's the size of a small horse.
That's very good. Is it like a progression of windows where
Yes.
like it's head, shoulder, then walking next to you, we can only see the top of him?
Yes, exactly. And then the final window, you see Duvall just kind of like sitting lazily on Jacob's back as they go. And so, yeah, I'll let you guys continue to play out whatever scene you're doing. And then
Cammy's gonna be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go get a Long Island iced tea.
That sounds really good. You should let me know how that is.
Sure.
I bet it's not as strong as this though.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
I don't
hey,
doubt
this
it.
is important. What's Saffron up to?
He's probably hanging out with them. I don't think he's not old enough to drink.
No, definitely not. Do you think he sticks by you pretty regularly? Do you think he would
definitely.
go off? Okay, so he wouldn't go off with Devold.
No,
which
no,
is
no.
totally fine. I just wanted to see what
Well,
he's up to.
Not without checking with her first, I'd say.
Okay.
Or like letting her know.
Okay.
Because
I
I
think-
think she's very much like instilled it into him, like, there's been enough times where he's wandered off and gotten himself into trouble or
Yeah.
stuck or caught or just fallen, and like that puppy whine that he's learned to check in first.
Yeah, and I think the way he does that is by like turning his head against you and going like, "Cammy, I'm bored. I can't do anything here. This is boring. Can I go ride the rides?"
Saffron, I can get you a drink if you'd like.
I don't want to drink the yucky piss water.
No, I can get you a virgin.
Oh, how fun! I can't wait to sit here and drink water with a bunch of adults. What are you,
Some
stupid?
brandy?
Hey, and she's gonna like,
Sorry, Mr. Brand, sir.
It's fine, Saffron. I understand.
It's just I saw the Ferris wheel. I want to go ride it.
Chamomile, let the boy go. I can go.
I could ask Devold to take me. Devold will take me. He'll guide me anywhere. He told me that.
all right, fine, just
He's gone.
yeah. What?
He's already gone.
I think it's you, like looking at the table, like, all right, fine. You'd go to turn to him, and he's like, the door's flapping.
He's like, Devold! Hey, Devold! Wait!
My sister says you have to take me.
Cammy says you have to take me to the Ferris wheel. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, man.
That boy.
Chamomile. You got a good one with you. Just gonna get us into trouble sometimes, but it's bourbon. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I gotta get some. Oh, well, hold on, Noodle. Are you wanting to drink against me, or are you just happy drinking? And I give like a very coy smile.
Noodle like crosses his legs and like grabs his drink with his little pinky out. And he goes to take his first sip. I think he likes it, but is a little alarmed.
Out of character. Is this Noodle's first drink?
I'd say it's not, but he's never actually had like a real drink.
Got you. So he like drank a family member or a friend's ale once?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Accidentally grabbed a glass of wine.
I think the way that I could characterize it is like he took a sip of someone's ale and said to them, "That's yucky." And they said to him, "Yeah, if you want alcohol that tastes good, get a fruity little girl drink." And he was like, "Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll remember that."
That's
And
exactly how it would go.
That's the extent of Noodle's knowledge on alcohol. That's very good. So Cammy, you're going to get a Long Island iced tea.
Yeah.
Okay, you walk up to the counter and you notice right away that Sandra is off helping, some customers. I think she's like, what she's doing is directing a series of like moth people who are like contractors. She's like showing them where to hang a chandelier. She's like, yeah, I picture it. I picture it right there, hanging down nice over the little pond we have here. And yeah.
Really get that light
I think another
reflection.
person approaches the counter.
Uh-huh.
Another server, and it is a bit shorter. What color fur was Sandra's?
I pictured like a light gray.
Yeah.
Light gray. This is like a spotty brown with like gray patches.
Mm.
It looks to be close to age, probably about, I want to say, I think Sandra looks good for her age, and this girl looks like spitting image of Sandra, but a bit younger. And she is another small mouse, but she has like around her neck, like a bunch of fur that looks like a mane. And it is like obviously a necklace that she wears. And it is just a woman there, and she pulls herself up to you. Hey, how can I help you?
You know what? I would love a Long Island iced tea.
You speak. And she's like, I think she turns around and like kind of crouches and like pulls out like a little book. And you see, you hear her practicing like a speech pattern. And coming back up and like, hello.
Oh.
It's good to meet you. I am Celine.
Well, hi, Celine. It's nice to meet you, too.
It's good. I heard that you talked to my parents already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of our group did, yeah.
Very cool. I hope you like them. They can be a bit much sometimes, but...
Jonas, standing 3 feet from her, looks and goes, excuse me?
Can't say it's never entertaining, right?
I meant strong, Dad.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
very strong, much strong.
Very, very strong. Yeah. And she's going to, like, look over at him.
I thank you kindly.
Well, you know how parents can be.
He looks at Celine and he goes, Celine, why are you talking like that?
I told you, Dad. We need to practice being able... We're a tourist place, so if we talk more like them...
Celine, what did I tell you about calling this a tourist place?
We're a high-traffic place, Dad.
We are the most popular bar in town. There are a lot of tourists in town. This is my place, not their place.
Dad, I feel like you're being real sensitive about nothing right now, okay?
I am not being... I'm not being sensitive.
Dad, you told me that eventually this place is going to go to me, and I need to know how to...
You call it a tourist place again, and we'll see about that young lady.
Yeah, you got no one else to inherit it to.
I'll give it to Brett. I'll give him a
You
second
won't fucking
location.
give it to Brett. You
I'll
fucking
give him a
hate
second
Brett.
location.
You
I
hate
swear to
Brett.
God.
You
You want
hate
to try me?
Anyway, I'm
I
helping
swear to
someone.
Kith.
Go. There's someone who needs a drink. I love you, Dad.
I love you too. He's like, be safe. And
It's like a quick hug.
Yeah. All right, bye.
Hi.
I gotta say, it smells absolutely lovely in here. Is that lavender?
Yes, we do use lavender here. But yeah, we use lavender. We try to make it very nice. My mom is the one who did a lot of the floor planning. That being said, there's a lot of things happening right now. It's the festival. So what can I get for you?
You know what? I think I might actually have something for you guys.
Oh, okay.
See, I've got this stuff here, and she got backpack, or Saffron left his backpack there.
Okay.
Because of course he did. He forgot it. Of course
Yeah.
he did. So she went and she goes in and gets some different types of like teas, and she's gonna come over to the.
God, I've been telling my parents that we need to use teas here to really hit people with like, from across the mountains. You guys really like your teas.
Oh yes,
And
absolutely.
you guys are it's the 5th anniversary of the armistice, and you guys are gonna start coming any day now.
Mhm.
We need to find a fine line of teas so you guys can enjoy your teas.
Okay, so if you want to stay on brand,
Yeah.
this one actually has lavender in it.
Okay. You can put flowers in a tea.
Yeah. Chamomile and that's my name actually. But
Your name's Chamomile?
Yes.
It's very
Yeah,
nice
you
to
can
meet
call
you.
me Cammy though.
Well, Cammy, I would love to have some of your teas
Oh,
in exchange.
hmm
And she like leans in, like making sure her dad's not listening. Whatever you want on tap.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think it's a good trade. My dad won't notice.
Here, you know what? I've got 2 boxes here. That'll
2
get
boxes.
you. That'll get you quite a bit.
All right. I think I know where to call the cutoff point of 2 boxes to. I don't know much about tea.
It's okay. You know what? I'll give you a little rundown, a little demonstration. It won't take very long at all.
Come back later and show me how to make some tea.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would love to learn.
And honestly, spiked tea is pretty good if I do say so myself.
Spiked tea?
Sorry, with alcohol.
Oh, you can have this stuff with alcohol too?
Yeah,
God,
it's
this is going to
great.
be the coolest bar. Oh, man.
No one is ever going to go to Brett's after this.
Exactly. Fuck Brett.
Fucking
Fuck his-
Brett, dude.
Fuck Brett's son. I'm going to do so much better than him.
Fuck Brandon.
Yeah, it's
Fuck little
Brandon.
Brendan. I'm going to do so much better than him.
All right.
No, it's okay. Come on, it's Brett Jr.
Oh, yeah. Brett's the
it's
kind of
Brett
guy.
Jr..
Brett is a Brett Jr. kind of guy.
No, and he's totally like, it's Brandon now.
I don't want to be called your name, Dad.
I should characterize this girl a little bit too. I think she's absolutely like she's got like bracelets on, like a lot of excessive like arm jewelry that she likes to show off. And I think like a lot of her fur along her arm and her shoulders is like braided. And like the end pieces have like beads on them. And it's just a very colorful fur that she has on, and it's essentially like, imagine like a girl who went through an emo phase, and this girl kind of just got to enjoy it without the angsty part and is just happy to be colorful.
I
Love
definitely
that.
picture Celine with a lot of nice finger rings. You know,
Yes.
like mini rings
That is
upon
exactly
her
what it
fingers.
looks like. And when she gives you your Long Island iced tea, when you show her, she literally, I think, with it, pulls one of the crystals off of her necklace and like drops it in. And it's just, she's just like, it's good for the spirit.
Ooh, thanks.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's actually a thing that I should ask. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do with that scene with those characters before we jump to a different scene?
I did one of my things.
Noodle?
Did you do one of your things?
Trade for or trade away one of your many wares.
Cool. That's another
Is that-
token
is
for
that a
you.
thing?
Got a token.
Cool.
I would say something we should definitely print out now that I'm thinking about this is what you can always spend a token on, because that's a useful handout.
And what you
to
can
have.
always do to gain a token.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about moving to Devold and Saffron. Does anybody want to play Saffron?
Oh, I can play Kiddish Saffron unless one of you two wants it. But also, do you want to see Noodle? Did you want to do some more with your scene? Because
Oh,
you didn't
yeah,
answer
I
my
would-
question.
After taking the first drink, Noodle happily says that I'm just happy to drink.
I guess I'm happy to be here with you then, Noodle. I'm glad we're sitting here having our first drink together.
Noodle kind of scoots a little closer to Brand.
Yeah, come on. And he like pushes, he like grabs your chair with his tail and like slides it over to him. And he like puts the tail over your shoulder and like tinks with you and starts drinking a bit with you. And you guys just have a really good time, I think. Unless you want to like act it all out.
Yeah, I think after like post drink, Noodle finds like a little bench and he lays on his belly with his like little feet kicking in the air reading letters.
Oh my gosh, that's
Very
adorable.
I think Bran like ruffles your hair and like has half his bottle left. Is like, well, I gotta go make good on a promise. So you guys be safe. I'll be back in come morning at least. Find a comfortable place to stay or come find me. I'll be with Kith.
Okay, I'll stay with Cammy then.
And I go get a jug of water with 3 ice cubes and I start to head over towards Kith. I wonder if it cuts to that scene of like you guys in the bar, but then like you're laying on Celine's like bed stool and you're reading letters while you guys are on the floor of Celine's room and you're teaching her how to make tea.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
I like
yes.
that a lot.
Yes. Okay. Then I'll. You know what? I'll. I want to role play getting to that spot.
Oh, and in the hallway, there's absolutely like Sandra standing in front of the door, and Jonah's like, "And you know what I told her about having boys in her goddamn room?" And
I
Sandra's
love
like, "It's what's he
She's
gonna
like-
do?"
She's like, you know what? Honestly, it's fine. It's fine.
The boy looks to be half of Celine's age. Relax, Jonas.
Yes. Yes. And she's gonna be describing. She's like, okay, so the temperature can't be too hot because you don't want to burn the leaves.
Okay, this is already immediately more difficult than
Oh well, no.
liquor.
it's not that bad. So basically, you heat up the water, you put the leaves in, you kind of strain the leaves, stir it around a bit. You gotta
You
wait.
can burn something in water.
Oh yeah, yeah. See, tea is very depending on the tea, it can be very delicate or it can be very resilient.
She's like writing all of everything you're saying down in like notes. She's a very you see like on her shelf, She has like notebooks that are properly labeled about like future floor plans, future renovations,
Oh.
life goals. She's an incredibly
she's a type A.
organized. She's a full type A. She gets it from her mom, and she gets her stubbornness from her dad.
Oh, that's perfect. So yeah, she's just gonna spend the time explaining tea and what different alcohols and stuff would be good in it.
On one of the walls is like 2 framed things. One is a framed document showing the adoption of Jonas adopting her, and the other frame is like them holding that picture together as like a family, and she's like significantly younger, and like she's her mouse fur is like matted from crying, and she's hugging onto Jonas real hard.
I don't know if you know what? I don't know if this world would have them. I'm imagining braces because she's so little.
Oh yeah, I could totally see that. It's that like headgear braces.
Yeah, there's the biggest smile.
She's very happy.
I'm excited to edit this because I completely missed all of that, but it'll just be new content for me. What's up, editing Dan? You fucking tired ass bitch. How you doing?
And I know you're gonna love what we talked about because that was an incredibly wholesome scene that I painted. And then I think we can cut over to Devold and then cut back to you guys in the room after that if you guys want.
All right, who's doing Saffron?
I can if no one else will. Okay.
Cool. So Devold is sitting crisscross applesauce on Jacob, and he has his staff across his leg, and the lantern's kind of hanging off, and it's unlit, and he's just kind of floating through traffic, and he's making his way towards the area where people are depositing their names. I liked the idea that they call it giving away the name, and they've written it down on little notes, or some people have like baked it into bread. Some people have like,
nice. Yes.
Carved it into a tree, like a piece of bark. Some people have, made gifts, and it's beautiful. There's like a pile of trinkets and memorials, and I think that there are candles all around, and it's nice. So he's making his way over there.
Oh wow, the lights are so pretty here. They're really cool. There's one thing, and like I think it's like a scene of you looking at that somberly, right?
Yeah.
And then like the camera pans to you, then it goes to all of the lights that you're looking at, pans back to you, and like it is Saffron poking out from your shoulder side.
I like even better, like or alternatively, a slow pan to the left, and just like to reveal Saffron just kind of like looking back and forth, like. Cammy said you have to take me to the
whatever. Yeah, no, that's exactly
like,
right. This is really cool. But Devold, I can't help but notice, and I'm not. You can. There's no rides here. Cammy said you had to take me to the rides, and then she said you had to. That's something that Cammy said.
Cammy said I have to take you.
Cammy said you have to take me to the rides right now.
All right.
Yeah.
He
unless you don't want to.
He picks up his staff and like points like literally down the boulevard. You can see the Ferris wheel, and he goes, "It's over there. If you want to give me a minute, I can rejoin you momentarily."
He gets up and like I think he starts to make his way over, and he like, and I think there's a scene of you starting to turn, and he's like kind of gripping his hand, and he comes back and like kind of like sits next to you. He's like, I can wait a minute.
He looks at you.
I told Cammy I'd be with you.
He looks down at Saffron and says, I'm sorry, Saff. I shouldn't speak crossly with you. Truth told, this place it's bogging me down a little bit.
What's that? I think I can put one of those candles in? They're pretty cool. I want to put one in the water.
It's
Are you gonna put one?
I might.
We should do it together.
It's not proper if you haven't lost someone.
I lose someone all the time. I lost Cammy once. One time don't tell Cammy, I lost our goldfish. He ran away.
So swam away.
Dad said he ran away.
Swam away.
Well, Dad said he ran away. You don't swim away from home. You run away from home.
I think your goldfish might have died. I hate to tell you like this.
He like starts to pout a little bit.
Do you want to give away the goldfish's name?
Yeah.
We can do that. Devald steps off Jacob, and Jacob goes and kind of nuzzles against Saffron, and kind of like buzzes softly, and his light flickers on, and Devald goes, huh, he likes you. He doesn't.
Well, I like him.
He doesn't do that to many folk.
He makes me feel a bit better about things, but yeah, and I think like without like absentmindedly, he's kind of looking around, kind of figuring out how things work. But I think absentmindedly, he like slides his hand into yours, as just something he's used to doing.
Yeah, man, Saffron really has gone from teenager to 10-year-old very quickly. But I'm very into it, honestly.
Yeah, I like Saffron
I
like
think-
this quite a
I
bit.
think immature. I think it's like he's very sheltered. and
We tread on
immature.
weird waters if he's just immature. I'm very happy with he's just really strong and can carry things, but he's a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely place him
Do
at like
that.
11.
Yeah,
You know, he's on the precipice, right? Like he is definitely he's in that awkward stage of like he's only been a kid, but he's shedding that, right? Like I think, and that's something we can explore as we continue on.
Along with literally shedding.
Yeah, he do be shedding quite a bit.
yeah. I did want to characterize like good natural thought that comes from him like turning and then realizing, no, I told my sister. At the very least, I know I've lied a couple times here, but I did tell Chamomile that.
Well, the great irony is like as you turn around, Devold also turns around and is like, Saf, wait, like I can't send you off on your own. Cammy would kill me.
Yeah.
Like if Cammy thinks you're with me, I'm liable for you.
That's very good.
And I'm not gonna anger her. So yeah, they walk up to the edge of the water. And I think what Devold does is he takes out a cigarette from this pack, and he pulls out the pack of cigarettes out from under his hat. And the cigarette packet that he has is really old and kind of worn down and like browned and like moldy is too strong a word, but like worn.
Stale.
Yeah, weathered. Musty is a
yes.
nice way to put it. And he, flips out a cigarette from it and he tears it open and dumps out the tobacco and takes a little pin. I think there's like a little tub of little pens and pencils for everyone to write on, and he writes a little thing on the note. And I think he writes Emily on the paper. And puts it down on the lily pad. And I think as he does that, as he stoops down to put the paper on the lily pad, Jacob comes up next to him and kind of nuzzles next to him, and he pets him, and he says, "It's all right. I'm all right. She's with the light now."
I have an idea for something here, but I don't know how you feel about it.
Sure. Pitch it.
This is so, of course, contrived moment in a show.
Mm-hmm.
I think someone next to you is writing her name too, and it's an older gentleman. And just places it down and sees yours and kind of looks over at you. He's a little tired, and I don't think there's a conversation. I think you're both looking at the water, staying next to each other. He's giving you a knowing lot. I think he's like a very aged otter. He's got like grayed whiskers. I think he's standing next to you as that floats away, and I think both of yours, like in this, of course, just amazing scene of like they touch, and like his with a lantern, yours with that cigarette, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are like touching, and then they start to float off.
Oh man, yeah, that's a really good image of like Devold using a ripped cigarette to write the name, and then lighting a cigarette and sticking it in the lily pad as like a
Yes.
little smoking thing.
Right.
Here's the only thing I'll change about that
Yes,
is I don't think it's the same name. I think it's just he and I both put our names into the water at the same time,
Oh yeah, that's
and
good
they're
too.
both female names.
Mm.
Maybe, and we look at each other, and I think Devold kind of nods his head. I think no words are exchanged between them. I think he just kind of tips his hat, and turns away with Jacob following in tow.
Saffron, I think is like as you turn to walk away, he is like also like it cuts to the scene, just him like with a smaller lily pad, and he's written the name Finn, because of course he named his fish Finn.
Sure.
and like he's like doing this, and like her hands together, and he's like, "Hope you're doing okay, Finn. You're probably not actually dead. I don't think Default really gets that you ran away. That doesn't lie. But even then, you might have died after you ran away, which is still sad, but less sad. I don't understand that. But it makes me happier to know that that may have been what happened. But if you are dead, I hope you found really good fish flakes. You always had a really pretty tail. And I miss you, pal." And like as you're like turning to walk away, he like comes and like grabs onto like your back coat.
I think Devold actually walks up while Saffron's doing that, and just kind of puts his hand on his shoulder and goes, "That's real good, Seth."
Thanks.
And I think that they sit there for a moment, and at this point in time, the sun starts to disappear behind the water, and there's God rays, shooting through the trees and reflecting off the water, and that cool breeze starts to pick up a little bit. And around town, lanterns get lit, and more and more and more the town is starting to light up, and the kind of natural hustle and bustle of the town is starting to kind of really pick up and overtake, and you can hear strumming music in the distance, and the sounds of kids playing and cicadas, definitely. And I think Devold squeezes Saf's shoulder and gives him a hand up, and pulls him up and says, "Let's go check out those rides."
Yeah.
I think his tail starts
I wanna
going
go on the
crazy.
really tall one.
His tail starts going crazy. I love that.
Yeah. Are you gonna get on them with me? You got to get on them with me. I changed my mind.
I wouldn't let you go alone, my friend.
Yeah. And it's not because I'm scared, as that like you guys are trailing
Of course
off and the voices are getting quieter, like from the camera. Like, just don't tell Cammy I'm scared.
I'm just like, have I told you about the time that
Yeah.
me and Cammy was... And it's, that's a perfect place to stop, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, man.